Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and the fun times are continuing for Global Dokkan here. Tonight is going to be a very busy night because we have the Dokkan Now, which is going to be taking place in only a few short hours here. This should give us a lot of preliminary details on the Saiyan Day celebration. We should see who the Saiyan Day Dokkan Fest is. Again, just a lot of sort of preliminary details on the celebration itself. We might see some events that are happening. We do know that Global did announce as well that there is going to be a new stage for... Oh, yep, there it is right there. But there's going to be a new stage to Infinite Dragon Ball history, right? JP got the same notice right there. So we do know that both versions are going to be getting a new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history at the very least, right? We potentially could even see things like Super Battle Road stages, Extreme Super Battle Road stages, all that type of stuff. But what's funny about it, right, is the fact that Global Dokkan has got this massive issue going on right now with the support memories, the support items, and all that, where, I mean, obviously everyone knows about it by now, but basically what happened is Dokkan did it's sort of like the 6-year anniversary update for JP, but Global did that update introducing a lot of the 6-year anniversary mechanics onto Global, costumes, revival, but they decided to leave out a key element of that massive update, which was support memories, which greatly changes sort of the infrastructure of the game and how, you know, previously Dokkan had these 6 item slots. Well, now they take away 2 item slots, and then there's the support memory mechanic. Now, what Global Dokkan basically tried to do is they put in the update, you know, into Global, which included the costumes, revival skills, and all that. But then they tried to not put the support memory function in, because I guess clearly they're planning on not actually utilizing the support memories on Global until probably the 6-year anniversary, right? The 6-year anniversary is when all that stuff originally came out on JP Dokkan, right? It didn't come out before the anniversary. It was part of the anniversary. Like, the initial login to the anniversary for the 6-year for JP is where we've got the first 5 support memories. The Oolong one, the Frieza one, the Gohan and Icarus, the Whis, and then the GT Kid Goku getting his tail pulled out. Those were all given upon first login to the 6-year anniversary, right? So obviously they're intending to keep that on the same time frame for Global, and I guess they just don't want Global players to be looking at this screen with the support memory, which is going to be blank for 4 months, right? Because the initial date that the anniversary is going to start for Global Dokkan, I believe, should be the 7th of July, right? And then probably 2 days later will be the Dokkan Fest exclusive LRs, LR UI Goku, and LR Evolution Blue Vegito. Probably will be on the 9th right there. The 7th being the initial day that the anniversary starts. So I guess they don't want Global players looking at the support memory thing for 4 months until then. But it's a little bit odd because last year they did this as well. They did, you know, an update early, which added a lot of this data and stuff like that into the game, including equipment, which is something that Global eventually did release during the 5-year anniversary on time. But for several months before that, I remember getting nonstop tweets and stuff like that of people pointing out, like, oh, Truth, look, when you go to exit a stage, you could see the equipment right there. Like, it was visible to players for months before the actual anniversary started, and maybe they didn't want to do that this time. But it led to a lot of big-time issues with support items and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and see what they have to say for themselves. So, dear players, an emergency maintenance will be conducted, and update 4.14.4 will be released in order to fix the issues mentioned in the following announcements. Certain events temporarily closed due to an issue related to the use of support items. So, those are going to be fixed. This is going to happen tomorrow. What is this? About a 6-hour maintenance? 6.5-hour maintenance, huh? Okay. Which is going to fix this issue, right? I guess I might as well pull up the other news articles, which sort of talks about what's going on right here. So this one right here. Certain events temporarily closed due to an issue. App may crash if the player brings a support item. It's so absurd that, like, such a basic function of this game, the support item, right, it is like really causing major issues. And then I guess a lot of certain events were sort of permanently closed I guess because of the way they interacted with support items, right? Like, I believe the cooler Dokkan event was not available whatsoever, even with keys or anything like that. And I know that event does have sort of special conditions in that you cannot bring, senzu beans, and it's also is it the Icarus item? There's 2 items you can't bring to that cooler Dokkan event, right, which sort of coincide with the events of the movie. And I presume because of that, that's why that was, sort of like completely unavailable, right? So we'll see what's going to go ahead and happen with that. Now, as far as compensation goes, obviously they're going to do something, but like now that they're talking about an emergency maintenance to fix the issues, the good news is that this is going to be in here before Saiyan Day actually begins. I mean, I would presume that the banner is going to drop basically Wednesday. Like, for me, like, I'm in the Eastern time zone, right? So the banner is going to drop basically Wednesday night. I would think 1 a.m. my time on the 18th is when the banner is going to drop. Typically, when there is a global NJP sort of like same time celebration or event or banner or whatever like that, typically it's like sort of like that 1 a.m. time slot. Like, a lot of the times, like the worldwide download celebration and stuff like that, those are sort of the time when the banners will drop at the same time. So again, I'm thinking 1 a.m. on the 18th. So it'll basically be the night of the 17th for me, is when the banner itself is going to actually drop. And looks like they are doing this maintenance, so everything's going to be cleared up. This is good because the World Tournament was pushed back towards the end of April. I think that's really a big culprit here. That had a lot of people very fearful that this issue was going to persist deep into April, since that was sort of when they pushed the World Tournament too. But I always suspected that was more so just a placeholder time than an actual, like, oh, this is when the World Tournament is going to happen because we expect it to be fixed, at that time. Like, there's no way they would just allow the game to, like, be completely broken for, like, a month and a half. Like, that's just not going to happen. Honestly, I would say they took way too long. What day? The 9th, dude, it was they're a day shy of a week on this. Like, that's really bad, dude. Like, that's why did it take them a week to implement a fix? Like, that's just so bizarre to me, right? Now, again, when talking about compensation, I mean, people are like, oh, 300 stones, we deserve 500 stones, a bajillion stones. It's like, yeah, it's very easy to just say, like, every global player deserves 100 stones and stuff like that. But, like, are they actually going to do it? Probably not. And let's be real. If global gives out 10 stones, how many of you guys are actually going to quit, right? Like, I don't know, they have some metrics or something like that they judge that they're going to give an appropriate amount of stones. I mean, if it was me, I do think they could give out, I think 50 would be a good number, honestly. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would be upset, like, oh, we deserve way more. It was such a like, global breaking issue. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But, like, the history of compensation in, like, I don't, like, even other games, like, I can't think of something this massive. Like, where you're giving out, like, multis for free. I feel like it's pretty rare. So I would say, like, 50 stones, to me, I think is actually acceptable. Like, I know a lot of players would instantly jump to, oh, but the JP 300 stones thing, that was different because that, was a banner issue that, like, actually threatened the lifespan of the game. Like the game could have been shut down over that through, like, allegations of rigged banners and stuff like that. Like, the Japanese government could have cracked down on the app, right? Like, that's the type of thing that was. So they gave out 300 stones. I don't foresee them giving out like 100 plus stones for this, so I do want to sort of temper expectations a bit. I do think 50, a free multi, would be very fair. And it's like, I know most people think like, oh, how many stones does it actually take to get a Dokkan Fest unit? I think, what did Gresh say on average? I think it's like 700 stones or 600 stones or something like that on average to pull like a new Dokkan Fest exclusive unit from like a 7 featured unit banner or something like that. But like, if they give out 50 stones, there's a lot of players who are gonna pull the main Dokkan Fest unit with just those 50 stones. So I just would like people to understand that, like, no matter what compensation they give, people are gonna be upset. Like, but you're just gonna have to realize, like, these types of like issues and stuff like that with global have just literally always been around. And like global shaft, I think is always going to be a thing as long as the games are not on the same timeline. Like as long as they're not completely caught up, this is the type of stuff that is going to be happening. There's always going to be global shaft. There's always going to be these issues. If this stuff is really too much for you to bear, I recommend two solutions. One, switch to JP. But I mean, it's like if you've got like a 3-year-old global account or something like that, it's going to be tough to just switch for sure, right? Second option is just stop playing Dokkan in general. Remember, like Dokkan is a video game. You're supposed it's supposed to be an escape from reality to which you're having fun, right? Like Dokkan should not be this huge source of stress in your life, or, you know, being very upset about compensation, or, you know, JP getting this, JP getting treated better and stuff like that. Like if it's a real issue, like the option is there to like not play Dokkan and instead play a different, you know, play Legends. I don't, dude, hop on Dragon Ball Fighters, like, right? Like, so many people will tell you, like, oh, you know, like Legends and like Dokkan, like bullshit ass gacha games. Go play a real game like Fighters, right? Like, you'll hear a bajillion people say that, but it is real shit that like if Dokkan, like this type of stuff really bothers you to like you're actually upset. Like upset at the unfair treatment, you know, towards you by Bandai or Akatsuki or anything like that. The option is there to stop playing. Like, no one is forcing you to play if the game is making you upset. Because, again, these games you should be having fun. You should be, you know, this should be a way to escape the pressures of your daily life, the problems that you have, right? Like, Dokkan and video games should not be adding extra pressures to you. So definitely understand that, right? Because I really do feel like outside of them just flat out giving, like, 300 stones or something like that, I feel like a lot of people are going to be upset. No matter what, like, people are not going to be satisfied, right? So, like, you just prepare. I would say temper expectations for what kind of stone. They're definitely going to give something after this maintenance, but, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say 500 stones incoming, because, I mean, that's probably cap. That's bullshit. You know, I don't know. They could give out 10 stones, and they could say, hey, sorry. But guess what? We told you that there was an issue, a known issue. We worked on it. We fixed it. Here's 10 stones. You guys could do 2 singles on the Broly banner. Like, I mean, that very well could be a thing. So definitely keep that in mind. Again, I will say I have never regretted moving to JP. I originally was a global player. I've never regretted moving to JP. I still maintain that the game would just be in a much healthier, much better overall state if global caught up to JP. I maintain that. I see absolutely zero downside to global catching up to JP. I just feel as though the entire community overall would be much happier with things if everything was coming to both versions at the same time, the exact same compensations and top grossing rewards, and everything was the same on both versions. What I want is equal treatment for both versions. I would prefer if the only difference whatsoever between global and JP is that one is in Japanese and the global version is in whatever language to whatever country you're in. That's my ideal way that Dokkan works, is that the only difference is the language you're playing the game in. I think that, honestly, I think that would be the ideal way to go about it. But I don't know, the knuckleheads, they think they're onto something, I guess, but I just would like to remind everyone, this is not going to be the last time that some sort of issue like this happens, right? This will not be the last. This is not the first. It's not the last. This is going to happen. There's going to be another time where people are saying global shaft, global shaft. It's going to continue to happen. This is a cycle that has been going on since literally global Dokkan came out. And it will continue to go on forever until global Dokkan catches up. So just really, everyone, keep in mind, I'll be here to cover the news tomorrow. We'll see how much the compensation is going to be. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think. Hopefully global just says whatever and they just toss out like 300 stones. I listen, I got no issue with that. Dude, 300 stones to global players. It's good. That's cool with me, right? Because, I mean, this was definitely a major issue. No doubt about that. Like, a lot of the events in the game being unable to play and stuff like that is really dumb. Like, I do think at least, like, again, 50 to 100 stones is very reasonable. But, I mean, we'll see what Bandai and Akatsuki think, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.